Hey everybody, Hatcher here from GNRT Gaming News, Reviews, and Tips. And as I'm sure you're aware, I've been playing a lot of DCS World. Love this game, super fun. But the learning curve is steep and there's a lot of places to get information. So I've tried to put this video together to help you with your H.A.R.M missiles. And so the first thing that we'll do is I just want to show you how to get your loadout set up if you're on the ground so that you can get rearmed with your H.A.R.M missiles if and when you need them. So here you can see I've contacted the ground crew and now they're waiting what I want for a loadout. You can only put 4 harms on in one loadout, and you want to go to missiles and then AGM 88C. Those are your harms. So you can put them in 4 different spots on your loadout, and I've got them all set up here. So this would be the most harms you could take. The AGM 88C is the harm, and you can carry 4 at once. Okay, great way for you to practice using your harm missiles is to go into missions and then weapons qualification for the AGM 88C harm. It's the Caucasus map, so you can go in there and give that a try without too many other threats. You will have a lot of SAM missiles to deal with, and that is what the harm is primarily intended for, is to take out SAM missile sites, and it can do so at fairly long range if you're at a good altitude and a good speed. All right, let's get into the air. Now, as with a lot of things in DCS and the planes in DCS, and I'm assuming planes in the real world, even though I've never flown one, a lot of the systems are integrated. And so you need to be able to integrate multiple pieces of equipment in order to use the harms properly. It's not that complicated, but if you forget to turn one thing on or assign one thing, then they will not work. Now in this case, the 3 key areas that we're going to be focusing on, we're going to have our HARM missiles on our left DDI. On our right DDI, we want to have the RWR, which is brought up through the EW on the tag page or the electronics warfare page. You need that in order to see your targets. And then you have to have the ALR-67 turned on. And if you don't, then the harms will not work because they pick up the radar signals coming from the SAM weapons sites. So you need to have, definitely you need to have the ALR-67 on. Otherwise your harms will not work and you're going to be sitting there going, why is this not working? When you start into the mission qualifications or the weapons qualifications for the harm, the ALR is not turned on by default. So you're going to want to make sure if you're doing a mission that you actually have the ALR turned on. So I'm just going to scroll out here a little bit. We'll go over to the EW page and you can see right now we do have targets on there. So these are different SAM sites up here. If I turn off the RWR or the ALR-67, you'll see that they all go away and your harms will not work. So this absolutely has to be on or else you will not have any targets in order to fire upon. Okay, so once that's on, let's go ahead and take a little bit of a closer look at the ALR-67 or the RWR. You can see our targets are here, so we're all set. We have some targets. And if we look over here, we need to get our HARM missiles set up. So they're an air-ground missile, and we need to make sure that the master arm switch is set to on. So we've got ARM for the harms. We go over here. We've got 2 different methods to acquire a target. We've got SP mode and we've got TOO mode. TOO stands for target of opportunity. In this case, I'm going to start off using the SP mode. So if we now go back on over. So now I want to be able to cycle through my different targets. So all I need to do is push the I button and you're going to see that different SAM missile sites become boxed. And I can go ahead and fire when I have one that is set by pushing the weapons switch, the weapons release. Okay, so now we're going to try it in TOO mode or target of opportunity mode. So I'm just going to go ahead and select my HARM missiles here, go to target of opportunity. Super important is you need to make sure that the TDC is set to the HARM monitor because you actually have to select which target you want. So in this case, I'm going to push my left sensor select switch. And you can see now it's got the star on the left DDI. And you can see this is actually the missile head-on view. So this is on the left DDI, this is actually the missile's point of view of its target. So we're basically looking out from the missile and the crosshairs are in the center. And you can see it's picked up on 4 missiles there, and one of them is boxed. So now all we need to do is we need to use the I button and we can scroll through our different targets. But, and the bar above that 1 means that he's fired upon us. Now we actually need to assign that target. So if you take a look, you'll see that H.A.R.M is actually X'd out, so we can't fire. But if I push the cage uncage button, that actually assigns that target to that particular missile. It's handed it off, so you'll see the H off. And then I can use my weapons release switch to fire my missile. Okay, so just a quick summary here on using the H.A.R.M missile. If you want to use an SP mode, which stands for self-protect, number 1, this is an air-to-ground missile, so make sure A to G is on. Master arm switch, you need to arm the missiles, so master arm switch set to on. One of the hangups that I had first when I first started using these missiles is you need to make sure the ALR67 is on. That's how the missile picks up the radar signal from the SAM missiles and how it locks on. So you need to make sure the ALR67 is on. My right DDI to the EW page, that's accessed through the tack screen. That way it allows you to see targets. You can scroll through them. Left DDI, you obviously have to set up your H.A.R.M. So left DDI is set to H.A.R.M. and then choose SP or self-protect so it's boxed. You can scroll through targets using the I button or the FLIR field of view and then fire using your weapons release switch. Now, there's another mode that you can use in order to lock onto targets. Target of opportunity. This is usually used when you have a lot of different targets. You can actually even use that screen to select them out a little bit more. Didn't go into that here, but maybe I'll do another little short video about that. Same thing as SP mode. Got to make sure AG is on. ARM switch is set to ARM. ALR67 is on. Right DDI to EW. Left DDI to H.A.R.M. This time you're going to actually box TOO. One important difference, the TDC switch has to be set to wherever you have your missiles. So in this case, the left EDI. Again, you can scroll through targets using the I button or the RAID FLIR field of view button. Then you need to hand off targets using C or cage or uncage. If you don't do this, then again, you're not going to lock onto that target. And then again, you can go ahead and fire. So very similar to SP, but some important differences. You need to use TDC and set it to your DDI. And then hand off the target so that you can actually lock onto it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe, and hope you have a good day. See you inside DCS World.